Published 10:10 Eastern Daylight Saving Time, the 17th of March 2018. Updated 21:18 Eastern Daylight Saving Time, the 17th of March 2018. A trio of long shots shorten the odds, but only time will tell if Tottenham can finally be considered a good bet. Of course, with Spurs it's complicated. Always is. There have simply been too many near misses to take anything for granted with a club that has made enormous progress in the Mauricio Pochettino years but hasn't got a pot to show for it. For that reason, this edition of the FA Cup feels desperately important. Certainly more so than Pochettino lets on. It's quite simply their last chance of the season to stop two pesky clocks 10 years without a trophy in the case of the club, which has ambitious players to satisfy, and 9 for a manager who ranks among football's most promising yet hasn't made his silver breakthrough. Christian Eriksen guided home from the edge of the box to give Tottenham the initiative after just 11 minutes had passed. Eric Lamela capitalised on some tame Swansea defending to double Tottenham's advantage on the stroke of half-time. Tottenham midfielder Eriksen killed the game off with another strike from the edge of the penalty area, but maybe this is it. Certain Juventus players highlighted recently how Spurs panic in sight of finishing lines, but they are hitting the semi-final at speed after this win, which was secured with 3 exquisite shots from outside the box. Christian Eriksen got the first and third and Eric Lamela nailed the second, all a delight to watch in a team performance rich in brilliance. Indeed, this game was never in doubt. That is partially because Swansea had no apparent interest in putting up a fight, they were desperately weak opposition. They have bigger fish to fry in the Premier League, but how disappointing to see them given so meekly in their first FA Cup quarter-final since 1964. It wasn't so much a selection issue. Carlos Carvalho made 5 changes to his side, but beyond dropping Łukasz Fabianski and Federico Fernandez, it was a strong side. It just happened to also be a disinterested one. They managed 3 shots to Tottenham's 25, and gave up 75% of possession. They went down without a struggle. Son Heung-min had scored before Lamela with a stunning strike from inside the box, but it was ruled out for offside. The referee Kevin Friend called for VAR but stuck with the original decision after the footage looked inconclusive. Eriksen goes close to doubling his tally with a thunderbolt from the edge of the box, but it cannons back out off the crossbar. Nathan Dyer appeals for a penalty after going to ground under a challenge from Tottenham goalkeeper Michel Vorm. Lamela desperately tries to keep the ball in play and cut the ball back to a teammate as Christopher Nordfeld it applies pressure. Pochettino said, "The whole team was very good. I'm so happy and proud. There is still a long way to go, but now we are into the semi-final. A trophy is an option now. At the same time, just when you feel close to winning something, then you can be far away. We are going to try to win the semi-final and get to final. It would be fantastic for the club to win a trophy." From there was a justified comment on the squad's depth, as illustrated in a side that featured 7 changes to the one that beat Bournemouth. Harry Kane was never going to make the trip because of his ankle injury, while Dele Alli, Victor Wanyama, Serge Aurier and Moussa Dembele were nudged down to the bench. Hugo Lloris and Danny Rose were left at home altogether. In came Michel Vorm, Kieran Trippier, Ben Davies, Moussa Sissoko, Eric Lamela, Eric Dier and Lucas Moura, with Son Heung-min the sole striker ahead of Lucas, Lamela and Eriksen in a 4-2-3-1. Not a bad lot to rotate in, all things considered. And what a battering they dished out, led by Eriksen, who was exceptional. "He is fantastic, so important for us," Pochettino said. "Every season he takes one step up. Today he was fantastic, step up. He is so consistent." The rout started in the 11th minute, when Lamela took a few strides in from the right and played in Eriksen, marginally ahead of Sam Lucas. Eriksen pressed forward, Kyle Bartley sat back and the Danes' curled finish from the edge of the area was simply lovely. Swansea midfielder Sam Lucas times his sliding challenge to perfection to dispossess Tottenham's Ben Davies. Davinson Sanchez puts his body in front of the ball to see it out of play for a goal kick under pressure from Lucas. Lucas Moura bamboozles Mark van der Hoorn before the Swansea defender falls to ground and inadvertently blocks his shot. Swansea substitute Luciano Narsing works some space in the penalty area to stand a cross up at the back post. Carlos Carvalho tries to galvanise his players by shouting words of encouragement from his technical area. The Tottenham supporters were singing loudly in the away and all match and celebrated with cheers after their 3rd goal. Lucas then stepped around Tom Carroll before rolling his finish too close to Christopher Nordfeld. It and Son had a goal disallowed for offside via VAR consultation. The footage was inconclusive, prompting Pochettino to later brand the controversial system a nightmare. Lamela made it 2-0 in first-half stoppage time with a strike from 20 yards and Eriksen got his second from the edge of the area. There is surely a lesson in closing down that Swansea's defence could invest in. Carvalho knew his side were well beaten. "I am not disappointed," he said. "After the storm comes the good weather. Tottenham have a very good side. I said before that to achieve something, we must be at our best and they must be not so good. We know there is a gap and that they are better. They were very good, the best team on the pitch," he added. "The FA Cup has been a fantastic run for us, our best run since 1964. It's not created any harm or damage for the future. We lost to a quality team who played well and scored fantastic goals. It's time for Tottenham to prove they are more than just that." Fernando Llorente turns the ball goalwards by Kyle Bartley blocks to deny him from scoring against his former side. Mora makes a run to the near post and tries to flick the ball, but Van Horn gets there first and kicks the ball out off him despite being 3-0 up and having the game wrapped up. Pochettino sends on Dele Alli to replace the impressive Lamela. Llorente shakes hands with Swansea manager Carvalho after the final whistle was blown at the Liberty Stadium.